So you treat her well. You treat her well. Because you don't want to be like Charles off of Diary of a Mad Black Woman. You treat your wife well.
Hey everyone,
Hey, what's
welcome
up, you
back to
guys?
our channel, TotallyTates. I'm Crystal.
And I'm Joshua, you all.
And welcome.
Yes, welcome to our channel, you guys. Look, for those of you who are not subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe to our channel
button.
today. We talk about family, lifestyle, and faith in whichever order, right? So you guys, we're gonna get into today's video, guys. Man, last year has been one of the hardest years that me and Crystal have been through in our entire lives, you guys.
Yes.
And specifically, like in our marriage, you guys, like last year was the hardest year in everything for us. Every single aspect of our life was hard.
Exactly.
And as you guys know, if y'all don't know, well, me and Crystal, we made it through 7 years of marriage. Like we made it through 7 years of marriage. And it was so hard. And yes, even in those 7 years, you all, like it was times where divorce came up and a lot of different ways. And just from my perspective, reason why in my mind, I'm like, man, I don't want to be married anymore because it's so hard. But not even just that. I felt like a failing husband. I felt like I didn't deserve to have Crystal as my wife. I felt like I didn't deserve to be married to Crystal because I was such a bad husband. That's how I felt.
And I just felt like it was just so much that was going on. It was just so hard to just simply be married. I feel like it was just too much to be married. Like I feel like I could just do everything by myself and just not have to deal with being married, being a wife, be it like, cause it's a lot to be a wife. It's a big calling, it's a big ministry, as people say, and it is true. It's really big, and so I feel like I was just like, it's just too hard. It's just too much for me, you know. That's just how I felt.
Like, cause you all like last year was really hard, like on a lot of different levels, and like that impacted a lot of stuff in our life. And so just with all of that, you guys, literally, that was one of the hardest years. But today we're going to talk about 7 things, y'all. 7 things that saved us from divorce. And we do have our notes right here, you guys.
Y'all. Yes, and so just to start off with, the very first thing that we had was that we had to communicate. So communication, better communication, communicating effectively. We've said that before, but man, like this time and this year around, it became so
like it's really real.
Yeah, and we literally had to be honest with each other. We had to be very open. We had to be very expressive. Like we were expressing ourselves to the fullest. Like you're gonna hear everything that I feel, and I just gotta lay it all out there. We just both had to just lay it out there.
I'm talking about screaming. I'm talking about crying. Like as a man, I never cried as much in my life until last year. Last year, I probably cried, man, I ain't gonna even go into how much I cried, but I cried in front of Crystal. I expressed how I felt as a husband to her. I expressed everything. I expressed like even the things after I got over myself. I expressed, why I'm unhappy, and Crystal did too. Like in the communication that we had last year, it was real communication. Like we both expressed how we felt about our marriage. And we listened to each other. We didn't cut each other off. No, we listened to each other. I spoke, she listened, she spoke, and I listened. And for me, like, it was a lot of stuff on my part that I wasn't doing as a husband that she wanted. And as she spoke, I didn't cut her off and try to say, nah, you don't understand. No, I listened to everything that she had to say last year. Yeah. And even I'm still doing this now. Like I'm listening. And like that was super huge. Is like we had better communication in our marriage, and it was safe to connect. Like in communication, like, it's not just about talking. It's not just about hearing, but it's making the space like available. Like, is it safe to connect in our marriage?
To know that you're not gonna like yell back at me or like, just like you said, cut me off or anything. It's just like we're able to know that we could come, and this is safe space. This is a safe space to connect. This is a safe space to communicate and to express ourselves. It was safe to do so, knowing that okay, he's not gonna yell, or I'm not gonna yell at him, and
I'm not even gonna be judged.
Judging,
like literally, and I'm just letting y'all in. It's like when I come to Crystal and I just say, man, it's like, Crystal, It's like, baby, I really like, I just don't want to, I just really feel like I'm failing. I really feel like I'm not being the husband that I'm supposed to be. And she then turn around and say, yeah, you're not.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
yeah,
you're
I
right.
didn't say
Like,
those type of
it's,
things.
you're not doing this. You're not doing, I need you to connect with me in this way. I need for you to be here for me and for me, I'm just not like, oh, nah, bro, no, Crystal, nah. It's like, it was safe for her to connect with me. And even with me, like, it was some things internally, you guys, with me in my marriage that I've been carrying on my back for so long. And I was able to finally open up to her and say, you know what, Crystal, when you did this years ago, it affected me. And it's still hurting me today. And I'm scared. Like, it's hard for me to be a good husband because I'm scared of this. I'm insecure in this area. I'm insecure about this. And like me just being able to open up with Crystal in that way, it allowed for us to connect better. It really, like, it made our marriage better because I'm able to come to my wife. I was able to go to her with all of my insecurities, with all of like my shame, my failure, and not be judged. And same thing with her. Like, that was one good thing. And even just going into that, like, the number two thing that saved us from divorce is we allowed each other to feel how we felt.
Absolutely.
Like, I allowed Crystal to feel how she felt. And I wasn't mad at her for feeling how she felt. Because, I mean, in past times in our marriage, like, man, I didn't allow Crystal to feel how she felt.
Yeah. It was always, like, not always, but a lot of times he would come and be like, well, you shouldn't feel like that, literally. But
she
like,
do the same thing with me. Like, you don't have to
feel
like that. And I'm like, well, this is how I feel.
Yeah, so it's like we didn't just like, this time we took more time to really allow the other person or each other to feel how we feel and to not be so harsh and not be so quick to, oh, just get over it and just move on.
You know how you need to change. Just do this and you're going to feel better.
Yeah, just hurry up and get out of that little feeling that you're feeling or whatever. We took our time to really be like, okay, you know what? Maybe you're feeling this way for a reason. And maybe, you know, like, so I'm going to just sit back and I'm going to just let you feel how you feel. Hey, do you need anything while you feeling like this or anything? But
that's what it
was just like, we just had to,
we
just had to like, just do that. We just have to continue to just give each other that. Well, that goes kind of into the next point, but give each other space. That's what we did too. Like, we really had to give each other space and to not be, like we said just now, like, just don't rush the process of how each other may feel or how each other might feel or whatever. But we really had to sit there and be like, all right, you're feeling like this. Okay, we're gonna, you know, just give each other time. If you need to go leave the house, let me go walk away for a few minutes, but come back and remember to talk about the things that we need to talk about. But those are some of the ways that we like gave each other space.
Yeah, and like, even for me, like, it was times where I just wasn't feeling good. I didn't want to talk about this. I didn't want to do this. And I'm just like, Crystal, I have to go. Like, you know, I have to go, baby. And Crystal allowed me, because I was dealing with so much crap. Crystal was dealing with so much crap. And we allowed each other, you know, to have the space to even just deal with all of those things that was going on.
Individually.
Yeah, like individually.
Together.
Like, you know, it was a lot of things that was affecting Crystal. And I'm just like, hey, take your time, have the space that you need. And like, she allowed me to have the space that I needed, like going out on those drives to just help my mind to become better. She wasn't trying to control me. I wasn't trying to control her on how to deal with this or how to deal with that. It's like, okay, I'm gonna give you some space. I'm gonna let you think through some things. And like, that really helped us out a lot. It just gave us the space to just feel how we feel and be us and just like, decompress.
That kind of goes, we didn't put this in the notes, but it goes with like being understanding as well. We kind of learned a little bit more like of the aspect of being understanding towards one another, because a lot of times we weren't understanding. We were just like, whatever, like, but this time around, it's like we were intentional with understanding and hearing and listening and seeing how we could do better on each other's behalf.
Yeah, and that even goes into our next thing, and like the fourth thing that saved us from divorce. We stopped focusing on the problems and we started focusing on the solutions, you guys. And like, that was real big for us because we had so many problems last year. so many different problems, man. And in our marriage, it's like, oh, you're not doing this. You're not doing this. Well, you need to be doing better at that. You need to be doing this. You need to, come on, why are you not doing that? Hey, do this, do that, do this. Man, it was just so many problems in our marriage, like how we were able to make it through is like, man, we started like, okay, I know this is the problem, but what's the solution to this? Together, individually, like when I saw like Crystal, it was a problem. Like I can make up a lot of different problems, but like last year it was like, okay, we being honest, right? So Crystal, like as a wife, man, she just wasn't there, like cleaning and cooking, like, you know, the things that I was kind of like, that's her role in our marriage. It's just simple as that. That's her role. Yeah. Like, you know, she does a lot of the cleaning, she does a lot of the cooking, and she weren't doing those things. And like for me, like I'm like, I'll be upset. Why you not cooking? Like we ain't got nothing to eat. We ain't got nothing to eat. Like that's how I would come to her. But then later on, it was like, okay, bro, you know, Josh, that's a problem, right? But then what I started to do was, how can I help? You know, like, okay, it was like, okay, let me just go get some food. Let me go buy some food. You know, what's the solution? Okay, you know, hey, Krista, how can we make something? Do you need my help to cook? Do you need my help to clean? You know, just let me know what you need. And like, that's like, we stop focusing on the problems in our marriage and start focusing on how we can change them.
And another example with the cooking thing, I could say that like for me, I knew that it was a problem too, and so I was like, you know what can I do? So instead of putting so much pressure on myself to cook a certain like amount of meals or a certain way or something, like the way that I was doing before, obviously it wasn't working anymore, so I had to go forward. And it's like, you know what, I used to do it this way, but a solution that I can have is to do it a new way. Try doing things a new way. So that kind of goes together with all aspects of our marriage. It's not just about the cooking, but it's like, how can we find new solutions to the way that we used to do things, in the past? If it's not working for now, then we got to find something else to do, find a new way to make it better.
Yeah, and you know, and like even just another problem, like just one problem that we had was me and Krista, we was not spending time with each other the way that Krista wanted to. And like, you know, like it's like, man, okay, yeah, Krista, you want me to spend time with you, that's the problem, you know, that she would talk about a lot. And I want to spend time with her too. It ain't just like I don't want to, but like really, instead of like what we did, it's like, okay, what, like instead of us just saying, okay, you're not spending time with me the way I want to, like, okay, well, define to me, you know, what is spending time with you, Krista? What is that? And like we started focusing on the solution. It was like, what do you mean by, you know, spending time with you? Like
what does that look like?
And like what do we start to do? Like we
started going out.
Yeah, we started going out. But and then like another problem was, it was like, well, for me it's like, well, you know, the reason I don't take you out because it's just like, man, like it costs money and we don't have money. But like literally, like it's funny how when you take your minds off the problem and start focusing on solution, what happened? Well, it was like, hey, well, look, the solution that we found out was, hey, you know, over here we can get a free meal. Yeah. Let's go out and get a free meal. Let's go on a date for a free meal. Let's go. And so we started.
If we needed help with the kids, hey, well, let's not focus on the problem of not having a babysitter. Let's find a solution and find a babysitter.
Yeah, and so like even with the problem of like me not spending time with her how she wanted. And because for me, the problem was I don't got the money. Well, hey, the solution was go find places where you can eat free. Yeah. Simple as that. And we started doing that. And that definitely helped our marriage out a lot because me and Krista were able to finally spend time together for free. The only thing we paid for was gas. Because like I told Crystal, ain't nothing free.
Yeah, you gotta get there.
Yeah, ain't nothing free. But like we were able to go out to eat. And it was it was several times that we ate for free. That was a lot of times. Yeah, we ate for free, spending time together as husband and wife. And so that was huge.
That was super huge. And then the fifth thing that saved us from getting a divorce was that we stopped fighting against each other, but we started fighting together. Yes. So what that looks like. So for one example that I can give is that when we were going through our depression, like we had separate depression, separate reasons and everything.
Separate depression.
I know. Whatever. We had our own separate battles of depression.
No, okay, yeah.
We had our own separate battles of depression. And so what that looked like for us is that we stopped like stopped fighting each other in our depression, and we started like fighting the depression itself. Like we took control and we started to realize like, okay, we're not fighting because we just don't like each other or we're in like a bad mood. No, we were going through our own battles and we were going through depression. So like, we started to fight against the feelings of downness. We actually started fasting and praying, and that actually helped to get us out, like to climb out of the depression, so that way we could fight against the depression itself. Because we're on the same team, okay? And we had to realize that, we had to remember that, we didn't have to realize it, but we had to remember that we were on the same team, because for the longest it felt like we were fighting against each other, but we shouldn't have.
On the same team. Like
we wasn't.
We were just on. We was fighting against each other like we opponents, if we being real. But what we did differently this year is we fought together. Like it was no more how we was living, like how our marriage was like for the first 6 years, kind of. We were playing against each other. And what I mean by that is I have my objectives that I have to do. So I'm the man, I gotta fight. I'm the one that's working. I'm the one that's doing all the stuff financially. So this is what I'm focused on. Crystal, you taking care of the house, you taking care of the kids. That's what you focus on. And so it's like when we met in the middle, it was no meeting in the middle, because I'm over here focusing on the goal, taking care of my family, which she not even thinking about anything financially per se, like going out there working. And the same thing here, like she's in the house cleaning, cooking, taking care of the boys, and like that's so left field from what I'm fighting against. I'm fighting against, building. I'm on my path of generational wealth, and I'm focusing on attacking, our finances and trying to build wealth. She over here attacking, trying to build a home, and we was just on different paths. And so when it's like, for me, I'm fighting against her, like, hey, come on, man, you need to help me, you need to do this, you need to do that. And the same thing she telling me, hey, you gotta do that, you gotta do that. It's a problem. We have a money problem, honey, and I'm attacking it. Well, she fighting against me while I'm fighting against that, and she telling me you ain't gotta do it that way. And she got a problem cleaning the house, taking care of the kids, and I'm telling her you don't gotta do it that way. But then we stopped fighting against each other, because it was friction. It was like, okay, we finally realized, like, bro, Crystal, if you're not doing good, I ain't gonna do good. She realized if I'm not good, she ain't gonna do good, because we literally saw a big realization. We saw everything fall apart. We saw our finances fall apart. We saw our home fall apart. We saw everything fall apart, and we realized, bro, we've been doing this the wrong way. I'm over here, I'm trying to build generational wealth for my family, and you not helping me. So it's actually tearing me apart. And she over here, Crystal, man, she trying to build a home. She trying to, cook good, clean, and build the kids and raise them. And I'm over here fighting this, where I'm not even helping her, but I'm fighting against her, because I'm like, well, you need to be helping me, Yanni. And it's like, we realized when everything crashed, when everything in our home crashed, finances crashed, everything, we realized, bro, we gotta be on the same team. We realized, like, I'm not gonna fight again. You want a clean house? You wanna raise these kids how you wanna raise them? I'm finna help you. I'm finna go ahead and I'm not fighting against you no more. I'm finna help you. Same thing with her. She not fighting me no more, trying to provide for my family, but instead she helping me in our business. Hey, baby, can I, can I edit this video for you? Can I do that for you? Do you need me to make this flyer for you? Like, we're working together now, finally. And it really feels good that we're working together, because we got one mission, one goal in mind. And that was really huge in our marriage. Like, we stopped fighting against each other. Like, the things that's coming against me, we fighting it together. We figuring it out with both of our minds. Like, hey, how, like, we fighting it together
and become a team, like a football team.
Because two is better than one. And look, you guys, I know I said a whole mouthful, but I'm telling y'all the truth. Like, that's the biggest thing for me that I can say, that like the biggest real, like, thing, epiphany that I had last year. The biggest thing that I saw was, like, y'all gotta stop fighting against each other because y'all not gonna get nowhere. But y'all gotta be on the same team because y'all a team, Josh. And it's like, I really realized, like, man, if my wife ain't doing good, I don't care how much I'm like with my goal of achieving financial freedom and wealth and generational wealth for my kids, bro, that don't matter if my wife is not doing good. And the same thing I learned. Chris, she realized this as well. It's like, it don't matter how clean the house is, how good she's doing on her objectives. True. If he's not doing good, I'm not doing good. You can't even be good. So like, that's why I talk so much about this, because it's like, man, in marriage, you gotta work together as a team. You gotta attack those problems as a team, attack it together, not individually. When we were struggling with our depression, we didn't attack it like we was attacking it individually, but it was like, man, I'm here to hold my wife up, because on some days she wasn't doing good and I was holding her up. The days that I'm not doing good, she come and she pray for me. She come, sending me encouraging messages. And like, we just been fighting this depression back and forth. We've been fighting, our finances, trying to build back because we lost everything. Trying to build back, and even in our home, getting our home together. We doing this together, y'all. Yes. And that's the biggest thing that I learned, and this feels so good because I just know that I'm not alone. But even just me not knowing that I'm not alone, the biggest thing is like, man, my wife is not against me trying to, build generational wealth for my family. And I'm not against my wife trying to have a good home, trying to cook nice meals for me and for the boys. Like, I'm with her on cleaning the house. Today, we cleaned the house, and I did a lot of cleaning. I'm happy. I'm happy because I know that we building this thing together.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir. And so number 6, number 6 was that we remembered our why. Why we got married in the first place.
Yep.
Why we feel so strongly to be together and to continue our journey together, and why we won't get a divorce. We have to remember our why.
Why are we still married? Like, why?
Because
why? Remember your why.
Remember your why, because it's important. Because it's like, when you have to look back and you have to go back to the beginning sometimes. It's like, we did this for a reason, and it's like, well, what was the reasons then? And so it's like, if we reevaluate, we look at everything and we see, okay, this is why we got married, and that gives you a new perspective. That gives you a new like a refreshing in a way to like, this is why we got married, so this is what we're gonna look at this year and moving forward, and try to remember those things of old, because sometimes those things back then is like, it's needed a little bit to push you forward, like, and to give you a new like direction to go in. And it just felt really good.
Motivation.
Exactly. That's it. It's motivation. It's motivating to be like, dang, we said this, well, we're kind of far from this, so let's kind of like reshift and re-gear and see how we're going to get to the thing that we said we wanted to accomplish. And so I feel like remembering our why was like a big thing to do in year 7, as well as why we won't get divorced, because we know, like, growing up and stuff, we both saw marriages that just weren't like good or whatever, and that
my mom and my dad,
they did end in divorce. And so it was like, dang, we knew back then when we were getting married, we knew that when we got married, we didn't want to end in divorce. And so we had to remember our why. We had to remember, like, why are we gonna stick it out? Why are we gonna like continue to persevere through these tests and through these trials? It's because we had a reason, and we're gonna stick to that reason. We don't want our children to be a part of a broken home, and so we have to do what it takes to stay together. We have to do what it takes.
And like, and throughout all the stuff that happened last year, like, knowing our why, man, it gave us purpose. It gave us purpose to stay married. I don't care what was going on, and like, literally, it's a lot of whys that we have. But if I be so 100% honest with you, and I don't know, some people might say, hey, that's bad, but our 3 kids that we have, Samson, Joshua, Joseph, like, those are 3 big whys. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, those are 3 whys why I'm even here today, because I'm just being real. I would have made a bad decision if I didn't have 3 kids, because like, it's like, man, my 3 kids, I'm living for my 3 kids. and not just all just for them, but that's a big reason why it's like those 3 boys back there, they need their dad. Those 3 boys, they need their mama.
Yes.
Those 3 boys, they need their mom and dad to have a good marriage, because I know what it's like to be a part of a broken marriage, be a part of a broken home, and you can't see your dad and your mom and your dad, they fighting against each other, they arguing, they don't like each other. Then one teach you to not like that parent, and now you don't like that parent. Like, I know all about the, with divorce and all of that stuff, and it came back to me like, man, my kids, they deserve better. Like, that's one of the biggest whys of marriage now. Like, now it changed from in the beginning. It was, with God, with love, and I know Crystal is the one for me, and a whole lot of other stuff on why I chose to marry her. But now, like, forget if the love ain't there. I don't give a crap if the love ain't there.
Oh my gosh.
These 3 kids, they need their mom and dad together. I don't give a crap what happened. Like, that's the mindset that we have. Is like, you gotta know your why, and your why gotta be greater than the pain, gotta be greater than the circumstances. It gotta be greater than all of that bull crap. Like, in your marriage, we can go I'm sorry about that, y'all, but in marriage, like, literally, we can go through so much things, but when your why is great, look, come here, look, this one of my whys right here.
You okay, baby?
This my middle son right here. This is a big reason why we still here.
Our sweet boy.
Because we got kids that's looking up to us. We got kids that need us. And so, all right, JJ.
I was gonna say, you can go back in the room.
You go back in the room. We almost done. But you gotta know your why. You gotta know your why and keep your why before you. Don't let the enemy distract you on, it ain't worth it. Nah, it's worth it. Your why. Get your why and keep your why before you. And the last thing, the number 7 thing that saved our marriage is literally, we humbled ourselves. Guys. We humbled ourselves, and we shifted our mindsets from not what you can do for me, but we changed our mindsets to what I can do for you. And literally, and I did this myself as a man. I know we kind of, for me, I struggled a little bit in the past with, like, well, I'm doing all of this, so do this for me. I'm the one working, cook for me, clean my clothes, take care of the house, all of this stuff. Like, that's kind of big, And it wasn't just like, oh, I'm just that man, but like, I worked hard, you guys. I was working super hard, like freaking 100 hours a week, and like, it's like I shouldn't have to come home and fix dinner. I shouldn't have to come home and clean up the house after I just worked 100 hours a week. The only day I got off is Sunday. It's just like that. But here's the thing, that is true. But even no matter how much I work and all of that, even now, like I'm working a lot now, but my mindset is still, baby, how can I serve you? Me changing my mindset to be of service to Crystal. So some things you just don't even gotta ask. I saw things that need to be done, and I just started doing it. I saw the kitchen table need to be clean. I just did it. I saw the living room need to be clean. I just did it. Or the living room got toys all in the living room. Instead of me going to her and saying, hey, the living room dirty, I just did it. Or even sometimes just like, hey, JJ, come here, man, clean up these toys. Pick up these toys and put it there. And so, like, really, like it helped our marriage. Like, it saved us from divorce. Me having a mindset that I gotta serve my wife. Yes. I gotta serve my wife.
Yes, being humble, that was a big one. And even for me, because just like you said, I was having so much attitudes back then, like,
because she felt she was entitled.
Yeah, well,
I'm just playing. Y'all, look, I'm just playing around. Just go ahead.
No, he just playing. But I really did. I had a lot of attitudes because I'm like, bruh, I don't want to just clean up after you. I don't want to have to just do all these things. And like, I just didn't want to have to feel like it was such an obligation for me to just basically really serve you. And it's just like, it was so bad. That's like, I was being so prideful, so like of myself, but I had to learn, like, girl, humble yourself, calm down. Everything is not about you. Everything does, like, stop putting yourself first, but put your husband first. Your husband who's literally doing all of this. Like, literally, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have what we have. Like, if it wasn't for him working how he works so hard, I wouldn't have no food to cook. Like, I wouldn't have.
She realized that when my business crashed, y'all.
Yes, like it
she
was
found that out quickly. Like, if Josh don't work, we ain't got no food in the refrigerator.
We ain't gonna have no food
Light
in the refrigerator.
Lights finna be cut off. We finna get kicked out our house, and so it's like,
yeah, we wouldn't have a house to clean if it wasn't for him working how he works. So it's just like I have to focus and like take the focus off of me and focus more on him and how I could serve him and just be okay with doing that. Like actually, and that's what being humble is. It's like it's not about you, and it's okay. It's okay for it to not be about you. It's okay for you to serve your husband and to be like just to be under him and be okay with just being that kind of like woman or whatever. Like he needs it. He needs somebody to uplift him. He needs somebody to serve him and to like be his, what is it?
My servant?
Yeah, be your servant.
I'm just playing. Ain't none of that. But well, you forgot your thought, but like
yeah, I did forget my thought.
Like, and just as a man to even other men out there, like, you know, one thing I learned as well is like I literally have to humble myself as well, because yes, I'm working my butt off out here. Like I'm outside the home, like I'm getting disrespected by people. I don't. That's feel where I was trying to valued. I don't feel appreciated. You know,
you
just
have to have somebody at home. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you good.
You have to have somebody you have to have somebody at home that like who values you and shows you that you're valuable and
respect me.
Yeah, exactly. To respect you and everything. So that I had to humble myself to respect him and to show him the love that he needs and to show him the submission and all the different things like that, because like you said, out there you fighting all these giants and all these things and like, but you come home, you should have peace when you come home. You should have like, you should feel good. And I had to learn that because I was adding to his like all his frustrations outside. He was coming home and there was still frustrations inside because I was not humbling myself at all. But like I said, like we said, we definitely are learning and have learned. Like we have to humble ourselves. That is so important.
And even like I was saying before, it's just like, no, you good. Like I was saying before, as men, even though you out there working 100 hours a week, even though you out there, hey, maybe even 113 hours like I did, but like even if you out there working that many hours a week, you still have to come home and be a servant to your family. Yeah. Like, you know, I understand and I get it.
It's tiring.
I get it. Cause I was there. Like, you know, man, outside of your home, man, you dealing with a lot. You got bosses that talk to you like you ain't crap. You know, you doing work. No, but you probably doing work you don't like to do, that you don't love to do. So it's already a pain in that. Then you come home and you don't want to do nothing. But I would encourage you, man, you would definitely help your marriage out by washing the dishes. Yes. You would definitely help, man, picking up the broom and sweeping the floor sometime, you know, cleaning the house, you know, even cooking. If you don't want to cook, buy food. That's what I do. I tell Chris all the time, it's like, hey, I ain't gonna cook no food. I ain't gonna cook no food, but I'll sure buy some food. Hey, don't cook dinner today. I see, you know, you been having a rough day. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go get something to eat, okay? Yeah. So like, you know, just find ways as a man, as a husband, find ways like, man, how can I, you know, I understand all the stuff that I gotta do, but how can I serve my wife? Because at the end of the day, no lie, this is true. And this is what I learned. At the end of the day, when you don't got nobody else around, when everybody else leave you, and I know this to be true, your money gone, everything that you know that you build yourself on, that you have on, all of that's gone. Your wife gonna be there. She gonna be the only one there to take care of you. And like, I'm even gonna go a step further. When you get old, I hear this, you know, I seen this. When you get old, it's gonna be that woman there right there that's gonna wipe your butt. So you treat her well. Cause you don't wanna be like what's his name, Charles off of Diary of a Mad Black Woman. You treat your wife well. Cause when it's your turn, like when you really need someone help, you wanna make sure that your wife is gonna be there. I'm just being real. You don't want to be like Charles.
It's a true story.
You do not want to be like Charles, y'all. Make sure you taking care of your wife and you serving your wife, because when you need her, hey, I'm telling you, if you can't do nothing for yourself, how you treat your wife is gonna show whether she gonna clean your butt or not.
Lord.
That's all based on how you know, that ain't all based on how you treat her, but just make sure you treat her well, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love that.
Don't be like Charles, man.
Exactly. Don't be like Charles,
Don't be like Charles, man.
If you don't remember nothing else, don't be like Charles.
Go watch. Is it Diary of a Mad Black Woman? Go ahead and go watch that if you need. I'm talking about you men. Go ahead and watch that. Change your perspective on how you treat your wife.
That's right. So we hope that you guys enjoyed this video. We wanted to just share this. It's been 7 years of marriage last week.
I'm proud of us, man. I'm proud of us.
Yeah, so we just thank God that we made it through. We thank God that we had those shifts in our mindset that really helped us to persevere, to help us to change the narrative for our story, because it could have ended another way. But we thank God that we're enduring, that we're keeping on going, and we ain't giving up. It was hard. That last year was extremely hard, but we're not going to give up. And so we hope that somebody out there, if you're married, that you got something from this video. And we want to know, give us some tips, any other tips or any things that you guys have learned in your marriage of what can we do to continue as well. Or what are just some good marriage tips that you can think of as well.
Yeah. Put them down in the comments, because everyone, we all have room to grow. But until next time, you guys, we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.